Okay, we're back with turn number 11, round 11 of our North Africa game, and we've got to start off correcting a corruption that I made in the middle of number 10. It wasn't until I assembled the video about 2 hours after the play and I'd gone through the rest of that round that I realised what a mistake I'd made. Explanation-wise, we're guys from M&M's, guys from Bear Hashim attacking the Italians in there. I moved their casualties to one side, rolled them in the defence on the first round of combat, forgot that there was 2 Italian artillery in here that could have fired. Perhaps they would have scored 2 hits from their dice rolls that they would have had or should have had. So I think as compensation, take 2 artillery pieces away from the Brits into Brook here. They didn't get in there. They were killed in that earlier part of the attack. That I think is the best solution that we can come up with. Talking and thinking is not my strong point. Let's get on with round number 11 proper with Germany. Okay, just to finish off my pitiful excuses as to why I get things wrong. Yes, it's difficult to commentate and play the game at the same time. It is for me anyway. And when you're playing these games posed, there is someone else to pick you up on the mistakes instantly, and you tend to get more things correct, although some things still go through. And if you can make up for a mistake, then you should do. Talking of mistakes, I don't think I've played the Axis forces particularly well in this game. I don't think I've played the Axis forces particularly well in many of my games that I've played of this thus far. Germans' problems here, they've got Americans on the doorstep of Kasserine Pass threatening Tunis. So they've got nothing in the Tunis convoy zone to protect anything they put on. All they can do, we believe, is attack the Kasserine Pass, throw as much as they can into the Tunis convoy zone and hope some of those guys survive any attack that comes in from the Allied forces. We're buying 2 landmines. One's going to go on the Kasserine Pass border, just here. One will go into Mersa, just down there, to prevent or help to prevent attack from Bear Hashim coming through. And I may be moving these guys backwards later on. Their advanced convoy stage, but slightly out of sequence there, but their advanced convoy is going down to there, and these guys are landing a huge pile of supplies in Tunis, but not enough guys there to protect the place with. So we're going to try to attack Kasserine Pass. Those guys are going to stay there, and because we got this one scout car, we can remove a supply. We're using our Stuka. Collateral damage, that can remove a supply. And we can just try and roll out that attack. Get the dice tray somewhere where we can see it. Okay, so the first thing we can do, I suppose, is the Stuka. That goes in at a 5. And it can target land units should it be successful. It's not successful. Ignore him. We have got from over here our regular attack. We have got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys all going in at 3s because we can use the artillery piece over here flanking to boost all those guys up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at 3 initially. And we scored 2 hits out of that. Nice, that's a good start. Then we have an artillery piece that's coming from Tunis. That goes in at a 3 as well. That misses. 2 artillery pieces from Constantine. Was that a reroll? No, it wasn't, was it? And we've got a reroll from that one over there. And that misses as well. And then we got the scout car that attacks at a 2. And misses. Okay, so just the 2 hits been done off of the Americans that are there. It would be infantry artillery. They would defend themselves at 3s. And they score 2 hits out of that. That's annoying. So we're going to move the infantry artillery casualties that are there. And we can change that one green chip for a grey chip. We'll take all these supplies off from here. This rolls backwards out of it after the first round of combat. And I think we might as well go again with that attack. But I don't think we're going to attack from Constantine this time. We're going to leave those guys in there. That doesn't get involved in it. We won't spend the supply for the Tunis attack. We take 1 from Mareth in here. So I'll drop 4 supplies into there. Take the 5 away. And we just attack with our 1 Stuka. And a 5. Misses again at a 10. He's a bad pilot, that one. We've got now 4 dice at 3 for the guys from Al Owed. And we have scored the 1 necessary hit, but only just. Then we're going to get the artillery piece for the Americans defending at a 3. And misses. So these guys must move into here. Kazarine Pass is back into the Axis control. And that supply I've just taken away was the one that the Americans would have spent in defence. We can move on to some non-combat movements. It's only going to be, I think, just some shuffling around here in Benghazi, moving some guys down to Messabrega. I'm not 100% with that. And then we can get these 11 guys into the Tunis convoy zone, up into here, and hope that a huge number of them escape from combat when perhaps the Brits hit them, or maybe the Americans do later on in the round. I'll see you on with the British turn. Okay, and on with the Brits, and having privately vowed not to make any mistakes on this video, yes, there was a reroll from the artillery that we didn't take. Okay, those things happen. And we didn't spend 1 supply from the Americans in the first round of combat. I was fixated upon them having 1 supply left for the second round of combat. Yes, there should have been 1 that's gone from their extra. We covered that off. The UK have done their advanced convoys. Guys gone into Malta. We spent 1 of the supplies there. Let's slip the corgis of war. We're going to use our 2 fighters, very, very un-British-like, 1, 2, into the Tunis convoy zone with our destroyer and attack these naked German transports. It's a nasty, nasty, horrible tactic. We're also going to be queuing up 2 attacks down here. Tobruk is going to be hitting Benghazi. Behr Hashim is going to be hitting Messabrega. We've got a bomber and a fighter that can get involved. 1, 2, 3. Let's ignore that for a moment and get on with our very un-British attack up there into the Tunis convoy zone. They've got 2 fighters going at 4 and 1 destroyer goes in at 4 as well. And they've scored just the 1 hit. So I'll take 2 off of there for 1 supply, 1 transport ship, and 2 are going to escape. So we'll put those 2 over there. These come off. It's a horrible attack by the Brits. I'm ashamed to be doing this. Really. Second round of combat, and again there's another hit there at 4 or less. So 1, 2 is destroyed. 1, 2 managed to escape. And we can do what will be the final round of combat, we should suspect. As the Brits score 2 hits this time, so all these guys go, and I can replace 1 of those chips with an infantry guy. Just 4 guys survive that attack in the Tunis convoy zone. That was really, really nasty. I think we can see all that now. Okay, we've got this attack now into Benghazi. We got the 1 bomber can do collateral damage, but we've got this 1 mine that must go off first by the Italians. They get 3 dice at 3s and push back 1 British infantry to the naughty corner, sir. He goes over to there. Then collateral damage from the bomber takes off 1 supply. We thought we had loads of supplies in there. It's now a little bit shy. So the 1 bomber flies in at a 6 for the British bombers, I believe it is. Let me double check on my sheet. Oh my god. It's all going off here. And a 6. And scores a hit. Nice. So that'll be one infantry guy, we suspect. Then the fighter goes in at a 4. That misses. We have the 2 Hermann Shermans at 5s, scoring 1 hit. The 2 Matildas go in at 4s, scoring 1 hit. Let me get that mine out of the way, it doesn't confuse the issue. And we have the 3 artillery units going in at 3s. And they've all missed. So they're casualties so far, but the Italians will get some defensive rolls now themselves. Their tank only defends at a 3. Misses. The artillery defends at a 3. Misses. The 3 infantry defend at 2s and score just the 1 hit out of that. Yep, not going well for Axis now. It's all going a bit Pete Tong. So these guys have all been lost. We've taken away the 1 British artillery piece. We can get rid of that supply that was used and those 2 supplies that were used. The Brits are a little bit short of supplies in here at the moment. I think for now, we're just going to roll 5 units in there. So one of these artilleries is not going to make it. I'll move him back and put 1 artillery piece in. It saves us 1 supply. It's not terribly tight, but it's not exactly brilliant in there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 supplies. And then 1 is being used up for this attack with these 5 units. And the Italians have to spend their supply here because we're not going to be able to get into Messerbrega. And we can start rolling out some dice at this. The 1 British bomber once again tries to go in at a 6, scores a hit, and the fighter goes in at a 4. This could be all over Red Rover. Well, it is. Absolutely perfectly done. Well done, sirs. So these 2 guys have now been lost. They will get their defensive rolls both at 3s and score 1 hit off of the artillery piece. So Benghazi has fallen. These go into here. That would change over to a British roundel. That supply has been spent, and we can look now at this attack from Ber Hashim. Similar kind of an affair. We spent the 2 supplies here already. We can roll 1 mine for Italy at 3s. Completely failing this time. And then we can start rolling the British attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice. It will going to be 6 of them will be at 3s. And have entirely missed. Ooh. 2 of them will go in at 2s. And miss as well. Wow. We got for the defence here for Germany, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be at 3s. And oh wow, 4 hits out of that. That really hurts the Brits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if the mine was unsuccessful, the counter by the Germans there was superb. And we won't forget the 3 Italian infantry that are in there. They all defend at 2s. I'm not sure if you heard all the chewing in the background. Funny lady's got a massive stinker of a cold. I'm hoping I don't get it, but my throat is feeling a little bit rough. At 2s, and no hits, no dice. But that was very, very effective in defence of Messerbrega by the Germans, especially there. So, do the Brits go again in there? Let me have a little bit of a thinky about this. We are fractionally short of supplies. We got these supplies up here. I don't think we can use them. We've only just captured that place now. we'd have to take one from here. I think I'm going to actually hold off any further attack from Bear Hashim, because we can then start using perhaps Benghazi flanking with Bear Hashim on the next round to get into Mersa Brega. So these guys have been gone from earlier on. That will be it for the Brits. I'll see you on the Italian turn. Italy on turn number 11. They're going for as cheap as purchases they think they can get away with. One landmine is going to go onto the Mersa Brega border to Bear Hashim, stopping those British guys, I think we're just out of shot down here, to help prevent these British guys coming through just by a little bit, holding back the British advance there. They're only declaring 2 actual combats. Everything else is going to be really non-combat movements. Once we get our guys back onto the to the board here, we're going to be making 2 attacks. We're using 1 submarine. We're thinking about hitting these supplies, but we're more worried about the Germans here and protecting them if we can do. So our submarine is going to go into the Tunis convoy zone, have a pop at the 1 British destroyer up there. It'd be an even battle. And the 2 planes that are left here, we can have a go at mortar. Not necessarily for the collateral damage and the supplies that we can destroy straight off, but to get rid of the air that's in here. It's going to be threatening our reinforcements coming on the board later on. Everything else for Italy is going to be moving stuff around in their non-com phase, getting 1 supply truck that we got here at the moment, moving some guys into Tunis to help bolster that up for when obviously the Americans attack on their turn. So we're just doing these 2 attacks. Let's get these done fast and furious. If we can get a dice tray somewhere, we can see it over here. Yeah, that's no problem at all. We will have, for the attack into the Tunis convoy zone, our glorious submarine goes in at a 4, and the British, those nasty Brits who did a dirty attack in the last round, defend at a 4 as well. So it's even Stevens, and the Brits have knocked out the submarine. It goes from bad to worse, I'm afraid. So we look at the one into the mortar convoy zone. We've got the anti-aircraft gun that the Brits can fire first. It will fire 2 dice. Trying to hit at 2s, if I remember right. And I checked my sheet halfway through this as well. It's missed anyway. I think, is it 2s or 3s? I'll find that one out later on. But we can now get on with the collateral damage. We knock out 1 of the supplies. That's lost and gone. And we can roll it in. Our bomber goes in at a 6 and our fighter goes in at a 4, trying to get rid of these air units. That's more what we're trying to do, I think, really. And we scored 1 hit out of that. The Brits could take it on the anti-aircraft gun. I think at this stage they possibly will do, recognising that the power that those 2 fighters have got. So that comes off the board straight away. The 2 British fighters, same colour dice, they defend at 5s. And they score a hit out of it. Italian fighter. That's annoying. So I think we still want to kill this air if we can do. 1 bomber goes in at 6 and the 2 fighters, they will go in at 5s. And we've scored a hit as the Italian player. That's the 6 there. 1 of those comes off there. No problem at all. We're going to carry on with this. If we can get that fighter done as well, all better. 6 versus 5. Black versus brown. And we've done it. We've knocked out the Spitfire. Lovely. So superb. We're well chuffed with that. The supplies stay there. We've lost our submarine, which was a shame. But that's pretty damn good as far as the Italian player is concerned. It's as much as we could hope for, I guess. Let me just do all those non-com movements and get on with the Americans in a mo. Okay, we are doing a disservice to the Americans, trying to keep these videos short and sweet. We've advanced their convoys and we're making 2 attacks. I'm going to bring them to you as fast as I can and probably incomplete. Up here, the Americans are following the British big and nasty approach by putting their 2 destroyers in against these 2 naked transport ships, trying to hit at 4s and hitting 1 of the boats. So 2 of those guys there are lost and 2 of those guys will escape. End of combat up there. the attack into here. We've got the supplies allocated, and we've got the flanking units from free flyers, all those air. We could just quickly roll those bombers in. They both go in at 6s, and we got 3 fighters that are going to roll in at 4s. First round of the attack, and we have 2 hits out of that. I'll see you at the end of the combat. Okay, that was a predictably quick attack going into there. Once those 2 bombers had made their initial hits there, the infantry artillery from the Americans, actually, they all missed. It was the Free French that managed to save them, flanking out from La Gote, and they lost 1 casualty themselves, which we took on the Free French. Everything else has now been advanced forward in a non-com phase, and we've landed everything into Casablanca and Oran, and got their new guys on the board in the Oran convoy zone, plus 10 supplies. It's looking pretty good for the Allied forces once again. I'll see you on turn number 12 when we'll be on with the Germans, and we'll try and shortcut somebody else other than the Americans next time. Till then, be cool.